What up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves and getting your eardrums blasted out by what's coming. So, hey, welcome back, motherfuckers. We're back up in it. So, great story today coming at you. It's coming from the good old show, UFO Hunters. One of my favorites. And we get right into it here. We don't fucking fill around with no fluff, no junk, no muss, no fuss. We get right into it. So this story is about a man named Johnny Sands. Johnny Sands sounds like a musician or some actor. Well, he is a musician. Actually, he might be an actor too. I don't know. But he was a musician down in Las Vegas. And he was not only terrorized by the Men in Black, but he was also confronted by aliens that seemed to be from a planet that was filled with water, that these beings came out of or evolved out of the water. Now, you could say we evolved out of the water too, but these guys really looked like it. They had gills. They had their head that appeared to look like they would come from an Aquarius-type planet. That's what he said. Aquariuminous-type planet. So I want you guys to hear what he had to say in the episode, Season 3, Episode 12. This is the last season of UFO Hunters. It's called Terrifying Encounters with Mysterious Beings. This is Johnny Sands. So you can listen in, and I'll even play it here for you. So check this out real quick.
I'm Johnny Sands. And for 34 years, I've been intimidated by the Men in Black.
We're meeting with Johnny Sands, a country singer who in 1976, while driving outside of Las Vegas, had one of the strangest Men in Black experiences we've uncovered thus far.
Now, if you don't know who that is none other than Bill Burns, the creator and publisher and writer for UFO Magazine. It may be defunct by now, but it was the premier publishing source for UFO news for years and years and years. He was actually nice enough to even write me back many years ago when I put in a story about a sighting. So check this out. Listen into this for a minute or two here, and we'll talk about it.
I could see a light beam in the sky directly to the right of me. It was a cigar-shaped looking object.
Johnny Sands' car then shuts off. While he's working under his hood trying to get his car restarted, two of what he refers to as aliens walk up to him.
And as they come closer to me, I started to run, but I realized I couldn't move. They had very, very glaring eyes. Their mouths was small and wrinkledy, looking like a man with no teeth, but they had a large, wide nose, and it looked like something protruding out on each side of their face.
So this picture right here is what they really look like. You could see the gills, puckered up mouth. I don't know why they showed that previous Men in Black picture. I think those guys came actually later after he met with these guys to ask him questions. But right here you can see this gill on both sides, huge wide nose, huge bulbous head, big protruded chin and puckery mouth. So again, I'll let him continue.
The one began to talk.
You on prep?
Oh my God! Of course they're gonna have commercials. Give me a break.
QCare
QCare Plus.
Yeah, no, we don't care about this.
But he wasn't talking through his mouth. So I asked him, where y'all from? And he said, up there. They asked me all these questions, and he says, we'll be going, but we'll see you again real soon. They turned and walked away, and a flash of light went, and they were gone.
Johnny Sands' alien encounter grabbed a lot of headlines. He was a celebrity for it. A few days later, the Sahara Hotel invites Johnny to do a public demonstration of sorts in their lobby. They hire an artist to draw one of the aliens that Johnny saw.
So that's pretty cool.
When he got to the gills and the nose, the artist says, why do they have a nose and gills? And I said, I really can't answer that question. That's when the two men walked up and was standing there, dressed in black. I did notice the one, he was a little clumsy in moving. He was kind of on the stiff side. He would lean in toward me, and then he said, "Let me answer that question for you if I can." There is an area in the sky that's 8.5 light years from here. It's called Sirius. He said there is a planet that is known to be an Aquarius-type planet, half water, half land. And so this would explain the gills and the nose. He says, but we got to go now. But we'll see you again real soon. Well, that's the same thing that the aliens had just told me in the desert 3 or 4 days ago.
And that's pretty much the end of his story right there. But what's cool is you get the idea that he saw these 2 aliens after his car broke down. He was paralyzed. They spoke to him telepathically, and then they disappear. He goes to do a show or a presentation. He was invited to like a UFO conference, and these 2 men in black come up to him, and they explain where these guys are from. What? Why would the men in black explain where they're from? That's really weird, number one, right? Like, the men in black don't usually explain anything. They just take, and they want you to do their bidding, and that's it. So I find that really fascinating. We also have the fact that these guys are coming up to him in the middle of the desert, and his car's broken down. Well, his car's broken down because aliens stopped it, okay? So he's working on his car. He gets paralyzed. They talk to him. I mean, I don't remember him saying what they said. They didn't, he just said that they stopped. They engaged with him a little bit. I'm looking to see if he says that they said anything in particular. He said, "We're from up there." That's what he asked. He said, "Where are y'all from?" They said, "We're from up there." But I swore in another interview he asked, what did they need? And they were asking about they either asked where's Area 51 or they asked where's Las Vegas because they were close to both. So that's really interesting. But I believe him because he doesn't seem like a liar. He doesn't seem like he's making it up. I mean, yeah, he was in the entertainment industry. Could this have boosted his cred or his interest in having some more publicity out there? Yeah, of course it could have. More publicity, the better, right? So yeah, that could help him. But I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not feeling it from him. So this is Johnny Sands again. He was a performer in Las Vegas for quite some time, and that's his story. What is really, really interesting about this story, I will say, is that these particular aliens have never, ever been talked about in any UFO encounter, alien encounter. I don't care what you're talking about. No encounter has had these kinds of aliens in it. Gills with like what look like shark dorsal fins coming out of their necks. I've never seen that. I've never seen the sketch drawing that they just showed on anybody. Now, have we heard of the potential for there being some aliens that were from, like a water type planet where they would have evolved out and then started to grow legs and walk out? Yes. Have we heard of different beings from Randy Kramer, who was part of the Mars Expeditionary Force and Earth Defense Force, and then was sent up to the Jupiter base, and he said he engaged in meeting with some like 50 type different aliens up there? Yes, he said he saw octopuses in tanks of water so they could conduct commerce. He said he saw all kinds of different species, but yet in any of the drawings, the sketches, his discussions, have I still ever heard of anything quite like this? So it makes you wonder if we do have aliens that are very specific like this, and that's a one and done situation, and they were just stopping by to check out Vegas, then you have to wonder how many thousands or maybe millions of different species are stopping by just to see Earth. Maybe just to see Vegas. Maybe you go to Paris or to Berlin or wherever. Maybe this is just such a cool planet that a lot of them just want to stop by and say hi. I don't know. But what I do know is I've never really heard of these guys. And then he did have Men in Black show up. Later in this episode, there's another gentleman who said he was encountered by the Men in Black that came out of nowhere out in the desert because he was trying to get some video of Area 51. And they showed up right next to him, and they started asking him questions. And what he thought was weird was they dressed like your standard 1950s Men in Black, brand new clothes, brand new shoes, came out of nowhere. And I'm trying to pull up his name for you so you can have it. But he thought it was just so bizarre because he wasn't really doing anything. He was just grabbing some video, and that was about it. Where's his video here? Let's see.
Wow.
No, that's not it. That's another ad. You got to love ads. So, in the meantime, are there any other stories out there that that you want me to comment on or talk about in future podcasts? Because I would be happy to do it. But you guys got to post it in the comment section so I can do it. But yeah, let's see. Where is the very last one? So anyway, yeah, and then there's two more guys that were encountered by the Men in Black. The UFO hunters, this show in particular, they would go to Area 51. They would just go right up to the gates. And they did while they were interviewing two ex-law enforcement guys who were interested in finding out more about Area 51. And they went right up to it. And they were encountered by black camo dudes, which is the common nomenclature for the guys that are out there at Area 51. They're in usually white trucks because they have to sit out there in the sun all day protecting the area. And they hid behind this kind of billboardish like area. So it was kind of funny, but not at the same time. Now the UFO hunters also investigated another gentleman who's named as Utah Dave. Now Utah Dave had he had a website called I think it was called like Utah UFOs or something like that. And he had some information from a particular individual who worked at Dugway, which is another kind of Area 51. And when he posted that information that he got from this gentleman, he got paid a visit at 8 p.m. by the Men in Black. And I'll let him tell his story here. I'll let you listen in just for a few seconds here.
It's at Dugway. And this information was dates, times, locations of testing. Lasers, ring lasers, invisible camouflage, aerial vehicles testing. There was a big list. You know, when they do these kind of tests, it does attract UFOs.
Dave posted this information on his public website, and then something happened.
About 8 o'clock at night, got a knock on the door. Two individuals, one's at the door, one's at the car, dressed in dark uniforms.
Could you describe the car that they arrived in?
It was a black car, 4-door.
Any insignia on the car, numbers?
Government plates. The guy that came to the door's got a crew cut, he's blonde, very intimidating, he's got the cop glasses on. He asked me first, "Are you Dave Rosenfeld?" And I says, "Yes." He says, "Well, we've got some particular information on your website that we need to get off immediately." He more or less asked me if my computer was in the house. I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, can I come in and watch you take it off the website right now?" And I said, "Yeah, it'll be off in 10 minutes. He came in, watched me do it. It ended with them saying, we don't want to see anything like this again on your website. If we see it again, we'll be back. And you don't want us to come back.
There are a lot of holes in Rosen.
So yeah, so that's freaky too, because like I feel like this show was out in about 2008 to 2009, and you know that's quite a while ago in tech terms. You know, there wasn't even social media really big at that point. I mean, Facebook came out and got big in around 2008, 2009, and that was like the very beginning of Facebook. People were just saying, "Hi, I'm happy." You know, they weren't even like posting big stuff. And for you to have your own website, for you to post stuff, that was really putting stuff out there. And that was what attracted a lot of government agencies. Now there's so much shit on the internet that I really don't think they can keep up with a bunch of it. I mean, they just can't. And now there's like, apps like TikTok. So many people are posting on YouTube now more than ever. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, people weren't really posting as much on YouTube back then. It was out, but they weren't posting as much. But there's just app after app after app, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X. You got all these. You got was it upshift, upswing, upload, upscroll. I mean, you got so many different things out there. Snapchat. So there's so much data that I don't even think they could keep up with it anymore. I mean, they can flag it, they could try to go talk to people, but there'd be like millions upon millions of people that they have to talk to, and they don't have that many people in their agency. Unless they can create some sort of fake entities that are like holographic agents showing up at people's doors, and they're all fake, then yeah, maybe they could keep up with it because they could just make a computer program and just shoot out AI agents at people's houses and make them think that they're really talking to a real person when they're really not. But nonetheless, I mean, this show is old. I mean, I don't want to say old because I don't feel like 2008 is old, but shit, I mean, it's 2026 now, so times have changed. But these stories that they would show on the air were so fucking gripping that they would go and interview people all the time, and the shit that they would say was like legit terrifying because you felt it, you knew it was real, and you could engage. And if you had the same experiences as these guys were the ones that were putting it on the air. You really didn't have a voice until, much later when social media really started to take hold and you really had a voice. So that's why I like these podcasts. That's why I like TikTok. That's why I like Instagram. That's why I like YouTube, because you have the ability to get your voice out there and your story's heard. So anyway, what do you think about these stories? These are wild ass stories. I mean, I love hearing about all these different events. I love hearing